Hallo Kai, hörst du uns?
Jetzt höre ich euch. Ja. Krass.
Perfekt.
Hi everyone.
Hi.
How are you guys doing?
Fine, thank you.
Okay, sorry, I was watching the stream, so I see I'm letting in all the rest of the people. Before anyone else joins us, do you have any questions for me? No? You ready? Sounds good. Are you guys sharing any slides?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm not actually.
Did you send them over to our tech team?
No.
Okay. I think it should be fine. If you quickly want to email them to me, you can. I think that on this stream it's okay, but on the other streams I needed them, but this one it should be okay. But if you want to email them to me now, have them in case of anything. We have a few
quick question.
before we go.
Can you guys hear it?
Yeah.
Because I can't select my
I
headset.
hear you. I don't see you.
Just try out the screen sharing function just for testing
Yeah,
purposes.
I'll stop mine, and now you can go.
So we just try.
Yeah.
Oh, just while Paul's trying it, I actually do have a quick question. Later, if so I'm starting out just talking about Arena 2036 for a couple of minutes, and then I'll click on leave, right? So that I'm not in the center stage anymore.
Yes, you can stay if you want. You can turn your camera off. You'll still be on the screen. But if you click leave, then you'll still be in the session, but your picture won't be on the screen. So if you guys want to do,
does it work for you? Do you see the slide?
yeah,
Yeah.
I see the slides.
Okay, perfect.
Cool. I will go back to sharing my screen.
Still not able to change my settings for microphone or camera.
Are you on Chrome?
Sorry?
Are you on Chrome or Safari?
I'm on Firefox.
Do you have Chrome accessible?
Sure.
Because it works. It's usually more compatible with Chrome.
But I tried it last Friday and I didn't have any issues. So. Yes. 1 minute left, so.
Maybe if you try turning your camera on and off, that might help.
Just give me 1 second. So, I'm gonna leave this session here on Firefox and try to join in.
Oh, another question. We're doing this in English, right?
Yes. Is that okay with everyone? We have a very international audience. Okay, it looks like we already have some people on our stream, so we can wait a few more minutes for a few more people to join us, and then we'll dive right in. We are currently in the Startups, the Gladiators, and the Arena 2036 session. We are joined by Paul, Clemens, Kai, Marco. We have the people in Arena 2036 with us. I see you, Paul. I hear everyone. And we'll give it a few more minutes, and then we'll dive right into the content that we have planned. Just to give you guys a little bit of an overview for people who are unfamiliar with Hopin, we see Anton on the right hand of the screen right now, just put in the chat. The chat will be for any questions or any comments that you guys might have throughout the session. Just an important note that when you put things in the chat, put it in the session chat, not the event chat, so that it goes to us and not the entire event. But I know I'm very much so looking forward to hearing this session, and I hope you are as well too. So I think we're good to start. If you want to take it over, Clemens, I'll stop sharing my screen and I'll hand it over to you.
Perfect. Thank you, Jess. And well, hi everyone to this session of the Startup Audubon Expo Day. We are really excited to have this kind of session from an Arena 2036 perspective. I hope it's going to be of some interest to you to see what we're going to present to you today. I'll first talk a little bit about what Arena 2036 actually is before handing over to Marco, Thomas, Kai, and Paul, who are representatives of 3 of the startups that are working on our shop floor in the factory hall, which you can actually see. Thomas is placed much more cleverly than I am, right in the backs of Marco and Thomas. This is what it looks like on the shop floor down at Arena. So what we do is we have a partner network of some 45 members from industry and science, and we bring them together in a co-creative environment and try to find ways to get them to ideate together and to innovate together. Our main goal is to achieve more speed on the way from the actual idea to the implementation in a project, and then in the transfer to the industry partners. Transfer for us works two ways, though. We do have the industry stakeholders on the one hand, and we do have the science people on the other hand. So transfer for us also means that we are transferring generated knowledge back into the universities, to the students, and to the different institutes. On our shop floor are, just as in our partner portfolio, large companies represented, but also a lot of...
One question, we can't see you.
Really?
Is it
I can see
purpose
myself.
that I can't see you? Okay.
No,
I can see you, Clemens.
Oh, perfect.
So it's
So
just
I'll go. You know what I look like, Thomas. If the other people can see me, that's perfect. So on that shop floor, we do have representatives of large companies, but we also do have representatives of young startups, as well as of a couple of SMEs. And when you look at the shop floor there in the back of Marco and Thomas, you do see that it's open, it's bright, and it is designed in a way that we have the shortest possible ways between all the stakeholders. So the shop floor layout is continuously changing. It's not only the projects that are happening on site, but it's also changing in a way that it supports the direct contact and the direct communication between the different partners. Just very on a general note, the Arena 2036 Research Campus is a publicly funded endeavor by the Federal Ministry of Education and Research. What they're funding are 4 large consortial projects, and everything else that we develop around these 4 projects is what then actually makes Arena 2036. All the other projects, all the partners who bring in their ideas, all the synergies that we are capable and able to and to give you an idea of how startups can actually use that location in order to develop further, in order to get contact, to get in touch with their customers, and in order to also learn from each other and bring in their individual expertise, I will hand over to Thomas and Marco now, who will kind of on a basis now. This election is going first, so it's Thomas and Marco, who were one of the very first startups that worked at Arena 2036 as a full member. Over to you, Thomas.
all right. Thank you, Clemens. So hi everyone. We are ThingOs. Marco is actually sharing some of our slides. So to give you a better impression, a company in the IoT sector. We have Arena 2036 around, well, 2018, we were like the first startup, I think, who became partner in Arena 2036. So we were really still very proud of that. And we started, I think, with 2 people. Now we are around 15 people who are really located here in the Arena 2036. So, company in the IoT sector. And what are we doing? Well, we provide a solution for the fragmentation. The fragmentation problem means communication technology, devices, device platforms, and standards, and are actually not talking to each other. So we provide a way how to simplify and how to make the interconnection between different technologies much easier, to open up island solutions. So how do we do that? Basically, we have a layer approach, and there are 3 main components. The first component, technology neutral layer, to which all kinds of technologies are, like wireless technologies, but also wired technologies, and all the sensors connected to that. So basically, we provide a unification layer, and on top of this layer, we are actually allowing our customers to run apps. apps in the same way as you know it from smartphones, but our apps run on edge devices, on computers that are basically on the production side. And the third component is a cloud-based app store, which allows our customers to actually deploy applications in the app store, and from there on deploy it on a large number of hubs on site. So this is how it works. Our software runs custom edge devices, but also of all kinds of shelf devices that you see over here, but runs also as a container, a full operation system. So we are located in Arena 2036, and actually that's our daily working environment. So I would like to showcase you some of our projects that with last years with our the Arena 2036. So let's start with a really interesting project that we have done around with Bosch. So we have created a pick by light system, and basically in a coffee break we talked to Bosch about that, and they said, oh, that's actually really a great addition to our factory of the future vision. So basically 3-4 weeks later, running version which you can see on the pictures over there, which is a mobile pick by light rack, which is battery powered, and it can be inductively charged via the floor. A worker basically starts a process, and the pick by light shelf lights up where to pick the next part. The worker has a mobile wristband on its hand, and he picks into the box, and the wristband actually detects whether it's a wrong pick or gives feedback. The first project that we did with Bosch together 2.5 years ago, and that followed by another project, which was the intelligent floor, which by now is, I think, in the 5th or 6th version running, and it's something that becomes slowly something that is a prototype to a real serious product. So what is the intelligent floor? We basically took the idea of the pick by light shelf and put it into the floor. So you have light feedback on the floor in order to indicate for humans certain visual information. You have sensors in the floor, weight sensors, so you can do applications like when somebody is approaching closer to a robot, you can slow down the robot in order to not hurt anybody. And there is also charging in the floor, inductive charging, so you can simply put various devices without any wired connections, and they are actually powered up to 400 watts. And as you can see on the picture below, Chancellor Merkel had also the chance the intelligent floor at Hannover Messe 2019, which was really a great thing. So another that we have actually done in a collaboration with up to 6 partners in the Arena 20, which was is a fluid production prototype. So here that was a joint project where we connect industrial components, also components from our startup friends in the Arena 2036, in order to create a fluid battery production line. So basically in every station we have put a ThingOs hub and also into the AGV, and by doing that, production line based on cobots, KUKA cobots, AGVs, indoor positioning, fire positioning, and all kinds of sensors within, I think, 8 weeks from the idea to realization. So that is a really great example of how basically all the partners together have created a working solution with all the showcases. Industrial smart factory show, but there's also there's space for other sectors in the Arena 2036. So here we have a use case where we do basically smart building and smart office applications. So it's called New Worker, living lab environment that we have created in Arena 2036, which allows us to explore various ways of how future work could look like. So what we do is we extend modular furniture with a digital layer, so you can book your desk from home, And as soon as this desk is booked, state basically lighting up so everybody knows this is booked for a certain time. But you can also use the status slide to connect it to your personal status of Slack or Teams, for example. So if you set it to do not disturb, it will also display that. Then there are ThingOs integrated into the furniture, which allows us to have a real-time overview of occupancy. So it allows to give you informed decisions on whether you need more working space or less working space, or whether there are times where really you have a bottleneck. And the really special thing about is that the whole setup is connected via a new technology that we are working on for the last years, which is Bluetooth Mesh. So a real extension to the classic Bluetooth, which allows many devices to talk to each other. So this is, for example, how one of the working spaces looks like. It has all kinds of sensory embedded and allows everybody in the arena to work with it. So in order to give you a better overview of the Bluetooth Mesh technology, my colleague Marco would basically now give a very quick introduction to that.
Thank you, Thomas. So what is Bluetooth Mesh? We all know the classic Bluetooth. We have their point-to-point connection from, let's say, our smartphone to cars or to Bluetooth speakers. And the benefit of Bluetooth Mesh is that not all devices have to be connected to the smartphone. So instead they can send messages to each other. So when we have a look on the right graphic here, the smartphone is in range to one of these devices and can send a message directly, but the subscriber is too far away, so it hops 2 or 3 times to the second device. We are deeply involved in firmware integration in this and smart building and smart office areas, and we have already with our customer integrated over 50,000 devices. Yep. Now I would like to show you a quick video of one of our implementations. Not working here.
Maybe you can simply screen. Yeah. The YouTube video sharing does not work, so maybe you can simply share it here via the usual screen.
Back to you. So, what we can see our mesh things. These are mesh integration devices. We made a setup of over 70 devices. So mesh devices which are controlled by remote control, and not all range of this control, so the messages are hopping through the devices. So each device forwards the message to stables, and as you can see, it happens in milliseconds. So control simultaneously. And of course, every smartphone got a Bluetooth chip inside, and can control the Bluetooth mesh network with every smartphone. So thank you very much. And yeah, back to Clemens. Thank you.
Thank you, Marco. Thank you, Thomas. it's we see each other quite often, but whenever I hear you present something, there's always some new addition to your portfolio, some new project that you're working on, or some project that you've finished. So I'm always delighted to just get a glimpse at what you're actually doing and what you have done in the past. Before going over to Kai, I would like to just very briefly come again.
I said there's a lot of projects going on all the time, so we are also really happy to always be able to present some new stuff.
Perfect. Well, before handing over to Kai, I would like to just quickly address one question from the chat. Sundar asked, to what extent the startups that are at Arena 2036 have access to the equipment? In order to answer that question, you have to know that none of the equipment that you can see behind Thomas and Marco on the shop floor is owned by Arena 2036. Our partners bring in the equipment on a project basis, and the equipment is used for a project. In order to reduce idle time, you can approach whoever is the owner of the machinery and ask them if you could use them for your project as well. So access to machinery is a tricky question, also because the shop floor layout and the machinery that's on site is always changing. But what you do get access to is the infrastructure itself, the partner network, and that is there all the time. And you do get the support from the Arena 2036 management. Wherever we can help, we're happy to. Then Kai from Naise, our second startup that is presenting in this session. I'll hand over to you.
Thank you very much, Clemens. I just have to open my presentation. Here it is. So, okay. So, thank you. My name is Kai Przybysz-Herz. I'm the co-founder of Naise, and today I want to show you how we can increase the efficiency in the intra-logistics. At the very same time, how we can also reduce the accident rate in a warehouse. But before we start inside the intra-logistics, I want to go out of the building, out of the intra-logistics, and I want to go to the streets, to the traffic. And I want to the audience that the audience imagine how would the traffic outside would look like if we don't have any traffic rules. It means no traffic rules like we learned on the driving license, and no traffic lights, nothing like that. You can imagine that would be a very chaotic situation. We would have a lot of conflicts, a lot of bottlenecks, traffic jams, and of course, a lot of accidents. Why I'm telling you that? The reason for is that in the intra-logistic, in a warehouse, we have a very, very similar situation. We have similar participants like vehicle drivers, like forklift drivers, target train drivers. We have pedestrians, but we have also autonomous systems like the so-called AMR, so-called autonomous mobile robots who are transporting things inside a building. And we have no traffic rules. And there's a reason for that. We need more flexibility in a warehouse. So a forklift driver don't need any rules. He has to be dynamic. He has to decide immediately where he has to go. So traffic rules, there is no space for traffic rules in the warehouse. However, we have therefore a lack of efficiency in the internal transport of goods due to traffic jams and accidents. But how we can solve this problem, but not using any traffic rules? The solution we see in that is the following. We mostly hear something like that. A lot of startups tell about that. We need more transparency and more communication. More in detail. What I mean with that? Transparency means for us that each participant of the intralogistics, which you can see on the picture, pedestrians, forklift drivers, target trains, any kind of robots, should know where they are and also should know in real time where the others are. Knowing where the others are makes possible that you can detect any traffic conflicts. But that's not all. You have also should be able to communicate with the other participants how to solve this traffic conflict. We have a solution for that. It's called Naise Traffic. It consists of our patented sensor hardware, which is on one side able to localize precisely each participant, but also is able to communicate in the same network, which means all participants knows where the others are, nearly in real time. This infrastructure is used by our central software, which is doing the coordination and the control of the whole traffic by controlling all the robots, target trains via terminal screen, via pedestrians via traffic lights, and so on. In one sentence, our Naise traffic is the smart traffic management for all participants, and that's the point, all participants in the intralogistics. So it's not a solution only for one manufacturer's robot fleet, it's a solution for all participants, because it's important to make the material flow more efficient. You have to integrate everyone into this traffic management. I want to give you a very short overview of our features we have in our system. We have a precise localization, which means we have 10 centimeters accuracy, also in industrial environments with a lot of metal, a lot of machineries, with a lot of movements. And at the very same time, that's our patented solution, is that we can communicate inside this network. So everyone knows the position of each other. Based on this rich information, our central software is able to be a superior traffic controller, as I said before. So we can control the AGVs directly, so the mobile transport robots, from different manufacturers, but we can also control no robots like forklifts, target trains, and pedestrians by using traffic lights, by using the interface like a smartwatch, a smartphone, or a screen inside the cabin of a forklift. We're also integrating the building facilities, so we can integrate gates, we can integrate dangerous machines, we can open a gate position-based if forklifts coming near to the gate. We can stop a dangerous machine if a pedestrian is coming too near to the machine. We're also communicating with fire alarm systems, getting a fire alarm signal. We can send all the AGVs out of the escape zone. There is no traffic if there is no material flow. So that's why we need transport orders. We're getting these transport orders from the upper management layer. So we have a very generic SAP ERP connector developed, which makes it possible that we can connect to the source of the transport orders at any company. Getting these orders, we are also doing intelligent forwarding of the transport, sending it to a corresponding cargo transporter, like a forklift, a target train, pedestrian, or once again, an autonomous mobile robot. I want to show you how we make the efficient, how we make the transport process, the traffic, the material flow more efficient in our customers' intralogistics, and that's in 3 steps. The first step is always that we using our Naise tracking. This way we get the traceability of all movements in the environment. Using this data, we can do analysis, like something like a heat map, and we can detect spots which are something like a traffic conflict spot. Knowing where are the most happening conflicts in a traffic, we can start optimizing it first with Naise safety by reducing the accident rate. So this solution is able to actively reducing the velocity of forklifts like Still, Jungheinrich, and Linde, if another participant like a pedestrian or like you see in the picture, AGV and AMR is coming near to the vehicle. So this way we can actively reduce the accident rate. But that's not all. The next step is to optimize the traffic. That happens with our Naise fleet. We are integrating not only AMRs from one manufacturer, we can integrate AMRs from different manufacturers. And that's not all. We're also integrating, as I said, once again, pedestrians, forklifts, target trains. So also no robots into this system by communicating via terminal, traffic lights, and so on. And that's all together is our one solution, the Naise traffic. What kind of benefits we have for our customers? We are once increasing the efficiency by reducing the bottlenecks and traffic jams inside the intralogistics. And at the same time, we reduce the accidents rate by reducing the velocity of forklifts. This way, we don't only reduce the cost of the accident itself, we also reduce the cost which follows after the accidents. I want to show you an example, a case study of our client Continental in Ingolstadt. Continental Ingolstadt installed a clean room airlock between the production and the warehouse. The problem came up was that once the AGV, AMR, enters this zone, and from the other side, the target train enters, we had a conflict. The AGV couldn't cross, and the target train is not able to drive backwards. So which took a lot of time and which took a lot of cost. Our client used our solution and defined by himself a traffic zone, in that case a narrow zone, just by drawing a polygon into the three-dimensional map inside our application. This kind of zone, for example, there are a lot of zones, traffic zones. This kind of zone allows only the entering of one participant. In that case, once AGV or AMR enters the zone, the other participants will send to the waiting zone. We can send the AGVs and the AMR through robots directly to the waiting zone. And the no AGVs, like target trains and forklifts, will be also sent to the waiting zone by communicating via the terminal, or as you can see in the picture with the traffic lights. So this way, we simply solved the problem. And what we could see in this solution was that we could increase the efficiency about 50%. And that's why there are less AMRs necessary, about 25% even. And this is only one solution in the plant. We have a lot of this kind of problems which can be detected with our analysis solution, and which we can solve, and we can increase the efficiency much more. That's why a lot of customers, partners, and robot manufacturers like to work with us together. And what I want to show you, that especially a lot of them are already located in the Arena2036 and are also partners from the Arena2036, which made it possible that a startup in this environment could grow up that fast like we could and get a very good customer's feedback directly by a sitting next together environment in the Arena2036. So why don't you want to visit us? We want to show you how we can control the traffic of your intralogistic by showing you a demo in the Arena2036. We're hoping you will invite us, you will come to us, and I'm happy also afterwards for the questions regarding the solution. Thank you very much.
Hi, thank you. I love the point that you made, that the proximity conditions that you're developing. So you're not sitting somewhere in a factory with all your colleagues from the same company operating within the same silo, and then you have done your work, you put in the hours, and you bring that to your customer, and then you realize, oh boy, we took a couple of wrong turns. But this continuous communication just allows you to iterate much more quickly, which is a huge benefit for both sides. It's more time and more cost efficient as well. Kai, there's one question in the chat regarding the technology that you use to locate the objects. If you could maybe say a couple of words about that as well.
Yes, we're using ultra wideband technology for that. This is a very robust technology for the industrial, so we can have an accuracy up to 10 centimeters. And the important thing is even in industrial environments where we have a lot of metals, where we have a lot of machines, where we have a lot of movements. So this is the solution we're using.
Perfect, thank you. And so with that, we go to the last startup that we do have in that session, and Paul will present to us the startup Peakboard. Paul, it's over to you.
Yes, hello everyone. Let me just share my screen real quick. Just 1 second, wrong screen. All right, so you should see my presentation as well now. Well, first of all, let me introduce myself. My name is Paul Suda. I work at Peakboard in consulting and support. And as you can see, here is our slogan from Peakboard. It's human-machine communication rethought. What does that mean? With our solution, we want to visualize important KPIs directly at the shop floor. We want to bring it to the employees at the shop floor and make it possible for them to not only see these KPIs, but also be able to interact with them, maybe react to them, and yeah, just to make their life a lot easier seeing that important information. But first of all, let me start off with where we came from. So Peakboard was founded in 2016 by Patrick Theobald and Peter Wohlfahrt in Stuttgart, Germany. We are a 100% subsidiary of Theobald Software. Theobald Software, for those who it's not familiar to, they are the market leader in SAP integration. So if you want to use your SAP data in other systems, you usually use a connector by Theobald Software. And that's also where the whole idea for Peakboard kind of came from. See, back in 2016, there was no fast and simple solution to visualize your SAP data. And that's where the idea came from. So first of, like when things started, Peakboard was used to visualize SAP data, but nowadays we've become much more than that. We are able to visualize data from a whole variety of different data sources. And that's why we already have more than 150 customers from a whole variety of industries using Peakboard in their production or in their company in general. So speaking of using Peakboard, where can you use our solution? I would like to start on the left side. So Peakboard can be used, for example, as just an information screen, sharing news or other information from your company, maybe in some sort of welcome area for customers and other people visiting your company. And then moving on to what we really focus on is production and logistics. So as you can see, there's a comparison between different production lines. We can see, for example, the status on these production lines, maybe the OEE, or how far they are with their current orders. Then next on, we have the target and actual comparison, which really motivates the employees working on the shop floor, seeing how they can keep up with their orders for maybe the day or the week. So just to see where they're at right now with production. And then the last part would be logistics, where we have, for example, a visualization for a truck loading. Here you can see how far the truck loading process has maybe come already, or how much time you have left. Also for the truck drivers, there's the possibility to see which gate they have to approach in order to be loaded. Next up, what is the challenge that our customers are facing? So the challenges are that, first of all, we have many different data sources. So for example, you have an SAP system on one side, and on the other side, you have a PLC, like for example, a Siemens S7 controller. And you want to use that data from the different systems and bring it together in a visualization. So that would be one challenge. Another one would be that you have lacking IT resources. We all know that nowadays IT resources are really rare and you want to use them really efficiently. So coming to the next point, you want to bring your specialist departments to be able to work with the visualizations on their own so that they don't need a lot of IT assistance and can easily create the visualizations on their own. Also, in like usually creating such a visualization takes a lot of time and is really complex, and this is also a challenge that customers are facing currently, and we want to get rid of with Peakboard. We want to make the process really simple, make it easy for everyone to create their own visualization, and to improve the shop floor communication, which nowadays, probably some of you know, consists in a lot of cases of printed out Excel sheets that get printed out every day, and you maybe use a whiteboard to even paint those graphs. And we want to automate that process and want to make it easy for everyone to use it, and also to get into that untapped data potential, which is, I'm pretty sure in every company you have data, but you don't know how to visualize it or work with it. So what is the solution for all of these problems? Peakboard is the all-in-one solution that not only consists of a software where you can create these dashboards, connect to the data sources, maybe aggregate the data using data flows, and also design the visual elements. But we also have a hardware part, which is the Peakboard box that gets connected to a monitor. And once you're done with creating your visualization on the Peakboard Designer, the software, you just upload it to the Peakboard box, and from that point, the Peakboard box gathers the data from the data sources directly, aggregates it, and creates the visualization. So once it's designed in the Peakboard Designer, the Peakboard Designer isn't needed anymore. So it's a decentralized solution, which also brings me to our 5 reasons why Peakboard is a good solution for every company wanting to visualize their information. First of all, it's agile and decentral, as I already mentioned. So you can quickly create your visualization, but also change aspects of your visualization, maybe exchange data sources if anything changes there in your company. So that's one part, but it's decentral, so everyone can work with the Peakboard Designer and create their visualizations. Next up, it's a one-stop shop. So as I mentioned, it's a all-in-one solution. You get the Peakboard Designer for free, so you can download it today and start testing with the visualizations or with the data sources. And then once you're convinced that this is the right solution for you, you can buy a Peakboard box and go ahead and upload it to that Peakboard box to visualize it on your shop floor. Next up, it's individual, so we can visualize or connect to a whole bunch of different data sources, starting from a low-level machine controller like the Siemens S7 PLC I mentioned, up to a ERP system like SAP, but also a lot of different data sources. Next, it's stable and low risk. So we have no single point of failure in the system, which means that you can start with a whole bunch, like different smaller projects, develop them, go further, and maybe add some new functionalities to your visualization as you go on in the process. Maybe also go ahead and get some interactivity going on with a touch screen or a mouse, so you can step up your visualization in each iteration. And then the last point is that Peakboard is really user-friendly. So there's a minimum installation effort. As I mentioned, you can just download the Peakboard Designer today for free and go ahead and test out the functionalities we have. We try to use as less, or give our customers as less coding as possible. So a lot of the steps can be done just via maybe a blockly kind of like coding, or also just conditional formatting rules. You just can click together. And that's why it's really user friendly. So a lot of it is just drag and drop, and creating your connections and your visualizations. Heading over to the Arena 2036, we've become a member only this year, so we're pretty new in the arena. And what we've done, or one of the projects we've done so far, was this energy monitoring visualization according to the ISO 50001. The ISO 50001 is a norm for optimizing your energy management in production. So what we did here in this small project, which only took us about a day, is we connect it to a sensor that measures the power usage of a compressor. And first of all, we just visualize the real-time data. That's what you can see in that upper part. The upper right part is just like a live view from what the generator, the compressor currently is using. Also next to it, you can see the watt precise. And then we take that information and we aggregate it into a graph that shows us the power usage over the last hour. So you can also put that data, the live data, into an aspect and see how the power usage has developed over the last hour. After that hour, we take the data and put it into a database to store it and maybe do some more analytics afterwards. So that's the kind of showing what's going on at the machine part, where you can see what's happening. But then also we have a interactive part where we can send a notification, or we can set a threshold for a certain watt level. And if the power usage goes over that level, we can send a notification after a defined time. So maybe you just don't want every spike to send that notification. So we can say after 20 or 27 seconds, we want to send that notification. And then you can define how you would like to send it, maybe an email, maybe a post on a website or so, another solution. We have a lot of different ways we can interact with Peakboard. So here you can really see we take that data, we give that interactivity, but we also store the data. So Peakboard is really a solution for a lot of these problems. Yeah, and that's it from me. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them in the Q&A, which will be right after my presentation, or otherwise you can contact us on the links you can see below. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Paul. It'll have to be a super efficient Q&A. We got about 2 minutes left. So I'm going to ask you the first question, which came in from the chat. There are actually 2 questions to you. I want to take the second one by Tom, who asks how many Peakboard boxes he would need for his application. And I would like to broaden that question a little bit and ask you, if a customer comes to you, if a potential customer comes to you, how do you draw up a project with them? What does your typical Peakboard project look like?
So each customer has the opportunity to test things out on their own. As I said, the Peakboard Designer can be downloaded for free, so customers can just go ahead and try things out on their own. Of course, we also offer workshops or even consulting to get projects started, maybe give the customers an idea of how we would solve their problems. I mean, we have a lot of different scenarios that our customers are facing. Maybe they want to show a target and actual comparison in their production, or they want to do a logistics dashboard. So it really depends on the project, but you can start really small with maybe just renting a subscribed Peakboard box. So we offer subscription. You can subscribe for 1 Peakboard box, test things out, see if it works, or if you have to scale up then afterwards, then you can also go ahead and do that. So yeah, hope that answers the question.
Perfect. If there are any more questions, please feel free to get in touch with Marco, Thomas, Kai, Paul, or if there are questions about Arena2036, get in touch with me or any one of my colleagues. Thanks to all the participants in the panel. Thanks to Startup Audubon and Plug and Play for having us. And Jess, I see you're back.
I was just going to tune in and say that it's not a hard cutoff at 2 if you want to stay and answer some more questions.
It actually is for me, though.
All good. I just wanted to tune in with some last. If you gotta go, you gotta go. But I can stick around for a little bit. I wanted to let you guys know if you want to get in touch with any of the speakers, I'm more than happy to connect you. You can also go on the website in this session and double click on their face, and it will have either their LinkedIn's listed if possible. Bye, Clemens. Thank you. And as well, we have a lot coming up today. As I'm sure you know, we have a lot of simultaneous streams occurring. We have networking from 5 to 6, and we have one-on-one networking anytime if you want to tune in today. And there are a few more questions in the chat if you guys want to, I don't know if you can see them. If not, I'm happy to read them out to you.
I can see the last question, which is how is the price for these boxes? I'm guessing that's for Peakboard. So they start at 490 euros for the buying. So you buy the hardware, but then there's also the option to subscribe or get a subscription for Peakboard. So yeah, really individually fitted to what you want to do with Peakboard.
If there is nothing else coming in, we can wrap. I just wanted to thank you from our side for joining us. It was really lovely hearing from you guys, and I hope you are looking forward to everything else we have planned for today.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
guys.
Thank
See
you.
you guys. Have a good one.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.